today to talk about a new racing game from Project Racing, who of course have a really big pedigree in doing racing games. This, however, should be something special. And what's special about this review is that it's actually you who have played a racing game. So tell me about it.
It's Blur from Project Racing and Activision. And it's the only reason why I even care is because, well, you blow stuff up. Or other players, that should be said. It's more or less similar to like Mario Kart and Wipeout and games like that you pick up. You drive really fast in your ultra cool cars. Well, Mario Karts might not be cool, but you have cool cars and you drive around fast tracks and you pick up power-ups that you throw on your opponents or drop mines and yeah, all kinds of mayhem and try to ram your opponents to knock them off the road and stuff like that. So yeah, that's more or less
it must be said, I haven't even given the game a try yet, but I'm still wondering, because I haven't tried the game yet, why should I pick this instead of Mario Kart? What separates this? Because all I've heard is that it's mature because it's got real and proper cars instead of cartoony cars.
Well, that's a big selling point of the game, I guess. Let's just, I think we should divide it into two though. We have the single player and the multiplayer. And the single player in Blur is, well, you race against computer-controlled opponents. And doing all that, picking up power-ups and firing them, blah, blah, blah. And you collect fans that unlocks new fancy cars.
So fans are experience points?
Yeah, more or less. But by doing more or less stunts or well, everything you do more or less. Every opponent you knock off the road, every missile you fire gains you more fans.
Okay.
And then they have something called lights, which I don't understand why they call it lights, but they do. It really annoys me, to be honest. But yeah, and that's you get depending on how you score, right, where you end up, if you win or second place or third place. And then you unlock by lights you unlock new tracks. And then you go head-to-head, one-on-one with some other driver to win this car. And then when you've done that, you go on to the next one.
Okay, so
that's single player.
Yeah, that's single player, and a lot of focus has been put into the multiplayer. So
yeah,
how has that worked out?
Well, let's just say that single player, if you don't play multiplayer usually, either racing games or any games in general, don't pick up Blur. Because the single player is really, really weak. I was bored completely shitless by it because it was just, come on, it's just, oh, you gotta win really cool cars. I don't care. I really don't care. I can't feel it at all. So I was really disappointed with Blur initially. But then going into multiplayer, I was hooked. Because Project Racing have done everything so right. Even I that suck are having so much fun during multiplayer. I have up to 20 cars at the same time, just firing at each other, ramming each other, driving each other off the road, fighting for positions. It's just complete and utter madness, and it's so much fun. Even though I've never, the many races I've done so far, I've never ended up, well, I think 15th of 20 is the maximum position I've had. Laughing my head off. I'm having so much fun.
But please tell me why, because
it's just so well done. It just works. It's so smooth. Everything around it. There's very much strong like community aspect of the game. That's the only thing in single player that you can challenge your friends if your friends have the game and blah 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 stuff like that. And then just multiplayer, you just jump into a game. You get to see if you jump into the game and there's a race in progress. You can just see you can see a map and see everybody's position on the map, so you'll know when it's time for a new race to start. So you'll actually get to play. There's there's a leveling up system similar to yeah, you mentioned before here. You mentioned Call of Duty. I thought you were talking about the game in general. But yeah, a similar system to those kind of first-person shooters where you level up and you gain access to new cars, and then after a while you have access to new game modes online. And there's a special one for the people who are of low rank. They have their own. You can play only with those, and it's just so well done and just fits together so well. And having 20 people on a track at the same time with all those power-ups and stuff, it's just
You already mentioned Mario Kart, but how accessible is Blur? Because when you go into car games, of course, you have one segment of players, but when you go into online,
Yeah.
you have something completely else. And online games usually can be pretty hard to get into, especially for really casual players, which kind of sounds like the market they're going for with the Mario Kart-ish style of gameplay.
Well, I don't think it's as accessible as Mario Kart. Well, Mario Kart Online can be really hard as well.
True.
Because people are really good, especially the Japanese are monsters at Mario Kart Online. So in that way, I'd say it's just as accessible. Mostly because it's so crazy all the time that it's full-on action. And so I believe that a lot of people will be able to jump in online. If you're not, either you're very casual like I am, I'm not very competitive. I'm just having fun, like at the end of the pack, trying to at least, not end up in last spot. I had a duel with a guy for like an entire race because it was only him and me on position 17th and 16th, and we were just arguing all the time who would end up last. If you're not competitive, then there's great fun that way. You just shoot people and laugh when your car is wrecked or whatever. And if you're really competitive, of course, there is the top of the pack that will always fight for first position. So I think it, as a casual player myself, I can say it's very accessible. Mm-hmm. It's very fun that way. And since even though you end up on last spot, you still get fans or experience points. So you still unlock cars, and you can still spend a lot of time with that. So.
But this definitely is a game that you would buy because of the mixture of racing and car combat, and not as a separate like car simulator or...
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I'm really bad at judging like how the cars are handling.
Okay.
If they're since I don't have a driver's license, I can't actually say, oh, it feels exactly like driving a Nissan, whatever it is. But at the same time, yeah, it's all about the action. Similar kind of to Split Second, but more dynamic, since Split Second is just a set static points where explosions happen. Here it happens all the time. And so, yeah, I'd say that that's why you buy. You buy it for the multiplayer, and you buy it for the online fun.
Cool.
Is that the ending?
Yeah.